Welcome to Wednesday with Will, episode 10, and today I have a very special guest, Mr. Ron. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure, glad to be here.
So what is your full name?
Ronald James Demeritt.
Ronald James Demeritt.
D-E-M-E-R-I-T-T.
And when were you born, Mr. Demeritt?
November 16th, 1944.
1944. And where were you born?
Actually, I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Born in Detroit,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and did you go through all the regular schooling back then, or?
I guess so. It's pretty common, although schools have really changed.
Yeah.
I started out in a one-room schoolhouse in Port Huron, Michigan.
Wow.
I had 3 grades in it, and then went to junior high school, elementary, junior high school, Port Huron High School, graduated from that, and then ended up doing a bachelor's degree
Okay.
at Fair State College, got a teaching certificate.
What did you teach?
Well then, after there, I actually taught 7th grade math, 8th grade science, and 9th grade biology in
Wow.
Cadillac, Michigan.
Cadillac, Michigan?
Northern Michigan, sure, yep,
Wow.
small little resort town.
So what did you do after you had been, how long did you teach?
I taught like a year and a half or 2 years in Cadillac.
All right.
And then I decided I wanted to go into veterinary medicine.
Wow.
And so I applied to Central Michigan University
Okay.
and got on a master's program.
Okay.
And I was really interested in birds.
Birds.
And I had a really neat major professor named Nicholas Cuthbert. He was became my major professor. And so I did that in about a year and a half, to master's thesis. And I was still thinking about vet school, so I applied to Michigan State University, which was the only university in Michigan that had a veterinary college.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have the prerequisites for veterinary medicine. You need animal science, you need poultry science, and horticulture, and these kind of things. So I enrolled in a program, animal husbandry, and got a second bachelor's in animal husbandry.
Wow.
And I really enjoyed that. And I did a graduate assistantship and a teaching assistantship at Michigan State University.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up with a doctorate in poultry science through animal husbandry at Michigan State University.
Wow.
And that was really neat. I enjoyed it. I did physiology and I did farm management in poultry.
Wow.
Well, I still would had the veterinary thing in my career, in my goals. And they were opening up a new veterinary school in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied and got in a special program. 6 of us were interviewed in the United States, and I got accepted as a veterinary student at Mississippi State University. And I started that for a while. I ended up dropping out and doing some woodworking. I got really interested in woodworking. Well, later on, I finished my veterinary career in California, worked as a VMO, veterinary medical officer in California, doing special projects. They call them task force. We were working on poultry diseases and that. So I did that, and then I did some consulting work, and came back to stay in Starkville, Mississippi the whole time, but communicated back and forth, and I enjoyed that. Did the task force work with the veterinary medical people. And then my wife got very sick, and so I ended up going to Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. And we needed the money then. Yeah. And so we always need the money. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
And so I went to Afghanistan as a carpenter because I had carpenter experience. But it didn't hold a large future for me because it didn't pay enough money. So I became OSHA certified and became a safety coordinator, then a safety specialist, and I traveled from one end of Afghanistan to another.
Wow. Doing
electrical inspections and doing training. Since I was a pilot at the time, and they put me on the flight line doing flight line inspections and electrical inspections on the flight lines and in the base camps. And if they wanted to operate a machine, they had to go through my training classes, and I did orientation classes for new people coming in.
So you would inspect airplanes, and
Not airplanes, the workers, what the workers did, the electrical people, the plumbing people, and the medical people, because I had a medical background. It was all part of HSE, which is the safety inspections. It covered a whole broad spectrum, and they sent me to different camps, do trainings, CPR, and this sort of thing. Did that for 4 years.
Did that provide the money?
Oh, absolutely. Contractors made more money than the military workers were.
Wow.
Yeah, they did. And it was good for me. And I saved up and got my bills paid and then came back to Starkville and working here.
All right.
So, and now I'm retired. I don't do veterinary medicine anymore. I don't do poultry science anymore. I get on my little John Deere tractor and cut wood, plow and disc.
Do you still remember all of it and stuff? Or?
I remember everything that I've ever done.
So you could probably teach a class on it?
Oh, absolutely. I enjoyed teaching. I taught at the elementary level, I taught at the junior college level, and I taught at the college level, 4 state universities. I taught at Michigan State and I taught at Mississippi State, both.
Wow.
So, and I enjoyed it.
And you said you were a pilot?
Yes,
Do you still know how to fly a plane? Or?
I still own and fly my own airplane.
Really?
I fly it all over the United States. I fly to the Bahamas. My son's a pilot too.
Wow.
And he's now in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He graduated, became a firefighter, went to Iraq for 3 years, and came back. Now he joined the Army and he's flying Blackhawks.
Wow.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, he's headed to Korea this year.
Wow.
South Korea. So good.
And so two things is, what is one of the most rewarding parts of your life, would you say?
I think teaching was rewarding. I like to see the way students could progress. like a favorite grade, I would say 7th and 8th graders were really exciting to me because they wanted to learn. They got out of the big classroom and got their own little locker, and they got to change classes and stuff. But at least in my school system, or the Cadillac school system, that was a big step for them.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care whether they learned what 10 times 10 was or this. I wanted them to know how to figure it out, how to keep records and studies and notebooks. That was exciting to me to watch them progress.
All right.
I really enjoyed that.
And be on their own, sort of.
Well, yeah, they were finding themselves, and they were learning really to communicate and plan their daily routine, stuff like that. That was very neat.
And one other thing is, what is one piece of advice you would give some of the young people out there? Or some.
Well, I think if people want to be successful, they pick a goal. Study the goal and go for it. Don't let other people deter you. They can give you advice, but don't let them. Don't do it. You can't do it. It's like my son. He wanted to be a helicopter pilot after he got done. They said, "You're too old to never do it." The next thing I know, he said he's going to do it. Did it. Now he's flying Blackhawks.
Wow.
One of the most sophisticated aircraft that there is.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So stick to it, your goals, be honest in what you do, and don't quit.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being
Oh,
on the
it's
show.
my pleasure. Good luck to you.
All right.
Let me close. I really like Missouri, by the way.
You really like
Missouri. There's good people in Missouri.
All right.
Okay.
So move up here if you want to meet some good people. That's going to do it for Wednesday with Will, episode 10. I'll see you next week.